Welcome to Easy Email Marketing. I'm your host, Yael Keown, mum, FIFO wife, MBA, coffee lover, survivor superfan, and creator of the email experience. In Easy Email Marketing, you'll benefit from my nearly 20 years experience, where I'll be teaching you all the tips, tricks, and insider info on how to create feel-good, non-spammy experiences for your subscribers. Let's get stuck in. Welcome back to Easy Email Marketing. I'm your host, Yael Keown, and today I'm circling back to a hot topic when it comes to email marketing and copywriting and, I guess, business and the world in general, and that is AI. Now, this is certainly not something that is going away, and despite some initial hesitations I had about using AI for emails, it seems to just be getting better and better. So back in episode 77, I shared 7 different ways that you can use ChatGPT for your email marketing. And one thing at that time I was really hesitant on was using it for actually writing your emails. So I was keen on using it for idea generation, for editing, for coming up with extra context for your subject lines, all of that good stuff. When it came to writing the emails themselves, I found it just very dry and formal and professional, and just, it sounded like AI, right? It just didn't sound like great copywriting. But my philosophy on this has changed, and I believe you can absolutely get great emails written for you using AI tools. But of course, I do have a few caveats. First, it will never get 100% of the way there to like a direct copy and paste from your AI tool to your email software. But potentially we can get you to about 90%, and that is pretty darn good. Caveat 2 is that you still need to understand the strategy and intention behind the email. So you still need to know what makes a good email. So you're getting your AI tool to write something amazing. And you also need to understand why you are sending that particular email. What is the intention behind it? And I've talked a lot about that in past episodes as well. Because remember, we aren't just sending emails for the sake of it. So we need to have a clear goal in mind and reason behind sending this particular email. Caveat 3 is you will still need to go back and forth a lot with your AI tool. So it does become this back and forth conversation to get things there. So often I am finding myself do things like, oh, that wording is not quite right, or that introduction is not quite right. Can we try it from this angle? So you will still need to go back and forth. And the only way you'll be able to understand what you need to work on, what needs tweaking, is if you understand the strategy and if you understand what makes a good email. So you can see how that ties in. But finally, caveat number 4 is that you must do messaging pre-work. You cannot expect your AI tool to do all the heavy lifting for you. And this last tip is the one that really changed everything for me and my perception of AI writing your emails as a whole. So a little bit of backstory. A few months ago, I was doing my launch of the VIP version of the email experience, and I wanted to get my messaging right. I was feeling a bit stuck on my content and my approach, and I saw an amazing business friend, Taran Bolt, she's been on this podcast before, was doing some one-on-one messaging sessions. So I thought, you know what, I will give this a go. So we sat and we had I had an amazing session with her about micro-messaging, and she just asked me a ton of questions, all related to this specific offer and the target audience, etc. Now, it's work I've done before to an extent, but there's something totally different about having someone take you through those questions and ask those extra prompts, or to actually write it down for you and put it into your words. So that was so helpful for me, and just an amazing process. And if you get an opportunity to do that with Taran, I totally recommend it. And this is where an aha moment came for me. So following that session, I started getting into writing my content for the sales pages, the sales emails, all of that stuff. And I thought I was still kind of struggling to find the exact wording or the exact approach. And I thought, I wonder if I copy and paste these words that I got as the output from this work we did together and post it into ChatGPT or into Claude, which is a tool I use and love, and add that context. And that was the game changer. All of a sudden, I was churning out this great content really, really quickly. It was one of those things where I started to go, okay, now write this one, now write that one, and here's the challenge, etc. And while it was never, as I said, 100% of the way there, it really helped me hone my messaging. And my emails were written in like a third of the time. Yes, I had to invest some time up front, and in this case, invest some money in a session with Taran, but it was so helpful, and it is something that I am going to be continuing to use, forevermore, and definitely something I want to revisit for different offers and different things that I work through. So, how can you bring some of this magic into your own writing process? So firstly, pick a tool that you love. So everyone thinks of ChatGPT as the main one. I've only ever used the free plan on it, and I've never quite got to the point of making it sound good. Like, I just haven't found it writing well for me. Now, I know there are some experts out there that can teach you how to train ChatGPT to sound like you, and obviously on the paid version you have a lot more power. But I have found Claude, CLAUDE.ai, and even the free version of that just wrote emails so much better. I'm now on the paid version there because I do a lot of back and forth, and so it's really, really helpful for me. And so pick a tool that you love and that just makes sense to you. So you don't need to stick with ChatGPT. I can recommend Claude, but I know there are a range of them out there. The second thing you need to do is to create your tone of voice or multiple tones of voice. So this is your style of writing or how you want to come across. And you could come up with a few. So what I like about Claude is that I could go in and just go and generate a style. And all I had to do was take a few of my past blog posts. You can even take things like your about page on your website, your home page. Just copy and paste a ton of text into the style generator, and it will interpret your writing style for you. You can still tweak it, you can still edit it, you can still say things like, make sure you use British English spelling and things like that. But it will make, all of a sudden, give you this tone of voice. And you might end up with a few, right? I have one that is very quite snarky and sarcastic and can kind of go a bit too direct, and one that's a bit more professional, helpful, etc. So you can have multiple. So that will get the correct approach, and that's really great foundational work. But then step 3 is that pre-work I spoke about with the messaging. And you want to craft key messaging like you want to have like ready to go in a document somewhere, these things. So things like the basics about your business, what your business does, what your offers are, what they get, etc. So this is kind of the dry facts, but still some of the distinguishing things about your business. So obviously that the AI tool can understand what you do. 2, of course, is your ideal customer. So we want to talk about their challenges, their desires, their excuses, the things they say to themselves, what they are thinking now, what they want. So mapping out all of those things, and you might end up with multiple challenges. And when you're writing one email, you might be just focusing on one challenge or one desire. But the more messages you have, the better you can work with this. And then, of course, your offer. So how it helps, what makes it different, how it helps solve the challenges, and sometimes all the practical things as well. And as a hack, you might not need to, if you've got just a few key offers, obviously just get this into a document. If you are an e-commerce business and you've got like hundreds of products, often I'll just do like a description for each kind of product category. But if you wanted to focus in on a particular product at any one stage, like just when you're doing your prompts, take the copy that you have on your website that describes the product and put that in as part of your prompt. And that really, really helps it come out. So only then, once that pre-work is done, is when you get stuck into the first draft of an email. But once it's done once, you just keep using the same stuff over and over again. And this is where it becomes so easy. You have that saved document of key messages somewhere, and you literally copy and paste the content as part of your prompt. So an example prompt that you might use to write an email would be, we are, then you describe what you do, act as an email copywriter and write a campaign email for what you want the email to be about. The main call to action is blank. So you want to obviously tell it what you want the subscriber to do. The focus of the email should be, so this is where you want to talk about the angle or the approach you want to take. So we still need to give it this strategy. You don't want to be like, I'll just come up with everything. Although if you're struggling with ideas, you could do a previous step that says, give me 20 ideas for content about this. Then you go, our audience is, so you give your quick liner about who your target audience is for this offer. They, what their challenge is, they want, what their outcome is, and then your offer helps them with this buy and give your couple of lines about the differentiating factors. And then I like to conclude with keep the email brief with short sentences, bold text to break up sections and dot points. Now, if you couldn't follow all of that, I will make sure that in the blog version of this podcast, you will see that prompt that you can copy and paste. So we'll make sure that that is all linked up in the show notes. Because yes, I use AI, a bit of behind the scenes, to take these podcast episode transcripts and then help me convert them into blog posts. And then I tweak it by making sure that specific stuff is in there. So we're getting very, very meta right now. So of course, your prompt ends up being quite long, but since most of it is copy and paste, you can get your emails created really quickly. And you'll be just amazed. Honestly, trust me at what it can produce with just having those extra details and how over time it just gets better and better and learns more about you. From there, you will still need to do some of that back and forth with edits to get it close enough, so to that 90%, because there will still be that final 10% of manual editing, especially of like minute details about offers and dates and specifics like that. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll find I'm taking different parts of what Claude creates. Like, so they've got, as you're going back and forth, it will end up creating 5 or 6 different drafts, and I might take elements from drafts 2, drafts 3, drafts 4, different sections, copy, and put it into one, and then add my own bridging content. And sometimes I don't use AI at all. In fact, maybe it's about 50-50. It just depends on if I need that extra dose of inspiration, or I need that extra efficiency because I need to churn out a lot of content in a short amount of time, or I'm just looking for that extra it factor, which I can't think of quite yet. Or let's be honest, when I just start getting into hyper-focus mode and start having some fun with it, because that is really, really good. If this is something that you are keen on diving more into and want a step-by-step process where I take you even deeper to each of these, where I give you the exact messaging questions you might want to ask in a workbook, if you want prompts, so even wider prompts and how to use it, how you can even take this to help you with your lead magnets, your lead pages, etc. What my editing process is. If you want all of that, then you would love the upgrade I just made to my Engaging Emails course. So yes, I have added a whole section on how to use AI to write your engaging emails while still having them sound like you. So this is in addition to the already amazing content in there on how to structure a great emails, to know what your subscribers want to see from you, how to generate ideas and plan your strategic content calendar, how to repurpose content, and how to increase your opens, your clicks, and your conversions, and so much more. So you can grab this today at yaelkeown.com/engage. It's fully self-study, start anytime, get stuck into it. And I would love to see what emails you end up creating as a result of this program. Thank you so much for joining me today. I would love to hear from you about what you've enjoyed from this episode or what you want to know more about. Please let me know over on Instagram. I'm at Yael Keown, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to Easy Email Marketing. It's an absolute honour that you chose to listen. If you love this episode, then it would mean the world to me if you could leave a review so that others can find this podcast and make their email marketing easy too. Finally, make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss a thing. Until next time, have an awesome day and make sure to keep showing up and serving in those inboxes.